All right, so we should be live. Again, we will see who strolls in if anything happens. If not, doesn't matter because I have
Yeah,
you.
we are
My
chatting.
we have honestly though, we have we have much to discuss. We actually really do have a lot to discuss. So, hello everyone. If you're watching this live, hi. If you're watching this at a later time, hello. I am here with someone who I love very much. I do. I'm a stan. I'm a fan. I'm an ambassador for my girl Marie Maravilla. She is maybe
So
you've seen her books
excited.
going around. She is the thing about you is a woman of many genres. So we have,
Yes.
you could say, I mean, the series that we have now is definitely dark, but we have some
Yes.
cartel in there. We have some mafia in there. We have some like Russian like mob in here. We have everything.
Like go across the board. I
Yeah.
will say, I think that I managed to do it without feeling it doesn't feel wild. So, like, I think it makes sense,
Mhm.
but it is difficult when somebody asks me, like, oh, well, what are your books about? And then you list all the things, you're like, oh, if you read it, it sounds better than it does than I just like listing out all of the things I go across.
No, it makes sense. It really makes sense. So with you, you currently have just, I mean, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure I'm right. Just the three books
Yes.
out now in the toxic, is it what toxic
Yep.
paradise?
Toxic Paradise series. And I do just have the 3 ones, the 3rd one just dropping today, which is
Yeah.
wild.
So my collection is, they're not uniform, but we're gonna work
I'll
with,
get you them so you can have them all
yes.
the
I like
same.
to be like Vanna White and show off my
There we go.
So we have the first book in the series. Well, also again, it's a series of connected standalones. All of these people are in each other's lives. Do I think you get the best experience reading them in order? Yes. Is that a requirement? No.
No. If you are in love chaos, then you can read it in whatever order you want. Just go in knowing that certain things will probably be spoiled if you read them out of order, or you'll have to embrace being like, who is this person?
Yeah.
What's going on here? But otherwise, yeah, you can technically, for the best reading experience, read them in order, but you could read it however you want.
I mean, it's only three books. So, like,
It
just knock
is.
them out in one go. So, the first book is Skeletons of Society, the original love of my life. This one is Gunnar and Ryan. This is Cartel, Motorcycle Club. There we
Yep.
go. Incredible. This book is delicious. Then
It's so good.
you have Syndicate of Sins, which this is a why choose, right?
Yes, it works perfect for that FMC. When you meet her, you're like, "Oh, yeah, one man could not handle her. She
I
needs a team."
love Scar. This is also, I guess,
My
kind of
favorite.
like an arranged marriage, I guess. Well, like,
Yeah, it's
marriage.
like forced marriage.
Hmm.
It was not in her plans.
Hmm.
She did
No,
not know.
no. And this one,
Which
delicious.
that is one of my favorite scenes. People ask me like what I have quite a few, but one of my favorite ones is like when she finds out that she's going to be getting married, just the way that that whole thing plays out. I absolutely love it. I every time I like kick and scream.
Hmm. It's too good. And then we have the newest release. Here we go. City of Salvation. Is this the last book in this series for now?
Yes. It's the last book in this series. I'm gonna do something similar to like Tate James does something like this where there's like branch off
Yes.
series and it's in the same world, but like the plots don't
Hmm.
intertwine in any kind of way. So that will be like the branch off series. So it's the last in this series, this book, but not the last in this world. I
Yes.
have some other plans and
I
I'm
feel
excited about them.
like people do that. A lot of authors, especially
Yeah.
in the dark romance world. I feel like a
Yes.
lot of people love to just have these universes of like all
Yes.
these people are in the same world, but this
Yep.
one series, this is another series you can bounce around. So I don't know how you do it, how you map it out,
I
but
ask myself that every time, like while I'm in the middle of writing. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? What am I? And then I get to the end and I don't know. I don't know how to. When I wrote book two, and this is not a spoiler, but there's a part in book two that mimics what you read in book one. You just get to see the whole scene play out from like these other characters' POV. I don't know why I did that. Like, I don't know why before I was like, you know what would be fun? Let's do that. I'm sure that'll be super easy. It's not super easy to like try to rewrite it and not feel boring. And like, so yeah, I don't know how these other authors do it. I'm assuming that it's the same thing where we're all just kind of winging it, but maybe not. Maybe that's just wishful thinking that everybody's as chaotic as I am. Maybe other authors have it. They like know what they're doing more.
Listen, it's amazing chaos. It's organized chaos. It's clearly working out really well. People love it. So this is the newest release. It's release day, baby. It's
I
release
know.
day for Dex and Nikki, which
It's
is the main
crazy.
couple in City of Salvation. So again, you have two, male female couples, and then you have the one wide shoes book. So you get again, you get a little bit of everything in this series.
Variety.
A 10 out of 10. And I love like a dark wide shoes book. So I'm very happy that you threw a wide shoes in there. I was reading this series. This happens to me literally all the time when I will dive into a series as like the next book in the series is coming out and like people are arc reading it and like talking about it. And I'm like,
Talking about it.
so close. I'm on this one.
I'm
Like,
almost there.
seriously, because and also as an FYI, Skeletons of Society and Syndicate of Sins have audiobooks. They're
Yes.
stational audiobooks. I love them on audio. So I listened to these two books and I am almost done reading this one,
Yeah.
but the audiobooks are great. And what was I
Third
gonna
book will get an audio too. It's
Yes.
in production currently. So I'm excited for that.
I'm very excited because again, your audiobooks are so good. The narrators that you choose. I know you were very insistent on having, Hispanic narrators so that they could
Yeah.
pronounce everything correctly and it just fit the character better. And I think it just adds to the
I
story.
agree. And I'm excited it'll be the same two narrators who did the first two books, which is great because you see all of these characters again in the third book. So I'm
Yeah.
like excited because they've already played the others. So it'll be like fun to see them do it all
Yeah.
and like be this little reunion for them.
Yeah. Also, these books are so hot on audio. I remember like listening to Skeletons of Society. I actually listened to Skeletons of Society. I think I was recovering. You know, it's funny. It might be full circle. I think it was when I had like the vid the first time and I was in bed and I couldn't move.
Laying there like,
Seriously,
yeah.
I do that all the time. I listen to audiobooks like I'm watching TV. Like I literally just sit there
Yeah.
and I don't move. And I'm actually 100% positive that's what I did with Skeletons of Society because I basically finished it in like one day. And I was just like, this is wonderful. Sensational. It's so fun. I love my man Gunner too much. And I Ryan's literally she's a cartel boss. She's a badass if I've ever seen one. And also I love the name Ryan for a girl.
I
That's
know, me too.
actually one of the names I had on my list to like name my daughter. So I love that her name is Ryan.
I absolutely love it.
I'm a little biased. I think that's a great name.
I love like the name. I think it just fit her so perfectly.
So
And Ryan's name was one of the things that I had picked out because the scene where they first meet, Ryan and Gunnar, that was the very, very first scene that I ever like dreamt up that I knew I was going to write. I started there and I started right. I didn't know where it was going to go in the book, but I was like, this scene is happening. So weirdly enough, I knew the scene was happening and then I picked her name. And then I was like, I don't know where all this is going to go, but I know those two things have to be in this book. And like, that's that kind of deal. And that's how the whole book started, was just that scene and knowing that I was going to name her Ryan.
honestly, and then you crafted a masterpiece. One of my favorite mafia series, one of my favorite dark romance books. These books they're too good. And I do feel like you keep topping yourself because like Skeletons of Society, I was like, oh, this book is so hot, so entertaining, so fun, loved it. I remember listening to Syndicate of Sins, jaw was on the floor because of how good the spice was.
That one gets wild. I like put it out of my brain. I will see quotes and legitimately it takes me a minute to register that like I wrote it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Like, we're just putting that out there in public? It's I don't know what happens when I'm writing those things. But then I, like, completely blank it out, I'm not thinking about it, and then I don't remember it again until I see it quoted, and then I'm like, "Wow."
Oh, I did write that really spicy mafia why choose book. One girl, three guys.
Oh my goodness gracious. And then I forget with book 3 too, because book 3 is a slow burn, and it was done on purpose because those characters, they just needed it for, like, who they are as characters, because they're so used to falling in bed with anybody who's walking.
Mhm.
And so I forget how dirty both of them talk, and again, until I see, like, quotes, and I'm like, "Oh, oh, wow. Oh, boy. We
Like
put that in there."
that you wrote. No, but the thing is, now that we have a beautiful intro to the other books in the series, we can talk about book 3 because let me tell you, I need to get it because where is my print? Because when I tell you, it's quite possibly my favorite thing that I own. I know I have it here somewhere. That's the dirty one. I can't show that. There we go. There we go.
I love that.
I need you to understand. I'm going to tell you something, Marie.
You
This,
sleep with it under your pillow?
yes, because the thing, character art is so important. I say this almost every
Yes.
time I talk to an author, but it's true because I don't visualize characters as
Yeah.
like actors or like cover like or like random people, whatever.
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
really go by if there's character art or if there's like a couple on the cover because I'm just
Yeah.
very simple that way. I can't picture it as anything
Like,
else.
yeah.
So like I am reading this book and this is what I get
You're
to
there.
picture. I this man,
So, so
pick
good looking.
this man. Like you everyone needs to get a good look at this. And then when you read this book, you're gonna have the best time
Positive.
picturing them, both of them, as it's too much.
And I know it's not full body, but my favorite part is I just imagine if it was his whole body, like, down at the bottom would be a pair of Crocs.
I was gonna
Like,
say, I did get to the part where Dex, our Croc wearing king, he said, I don't need to wear my boots right now. Hold on, I have my Crocs. They're comfortable.
professional wears these.
Don't come for me. He is, I feel like you described him or like people have described him as like he even though he's in a motorcycle club, like he's the enforcer of a motorcycle
Yeah,
club, he's also a golden retriever.
100%.
Dirty mouth.
A super dirty mouth golden retriever who's also, like, maybe taking people's, like, limbs occasionally, and it's my favorite combination of this because I do feel like you don't always see it in this genre.
Don't.
And I just, like, think that it's such a fun one to, like, have that whole kind of complex thing. The other thing that I learned when writing my first book, and this was not intentional, I would just, like, put stuff. My very first book, I wrote literally for me. I wasn't really sure anybody was actually gonna read it. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I, like, wrote it because this is what I wanted, and I, like, put it out there. And so the things I wrote in book 1 that I thought were funny, like, I thought they were funny because they made me laugh, and I really didn't think anybody else was gonna think they were funny. Like, I don't know, I guess it just, like, didn't even cross my mind. And so when everybody was like, "This is so funny." I'm like, "Look at that. I've told my husband this whole time. Like, I'm funny. You don't even know it." And so that was just like this, like the opening of the door to like, okay, I'm just gonna put all of my humor in all of my books because it may not be for everybody, but those who seem to like it, like we're on the same page. And these were the things that I wished had been in like some authors do it amazing and I absolutely love it, but I don't find it in like darker books as much
Yep.
either. And so I was like, okay, well, I can't be the only one who also wants to laugh like in between
Yeah.
hands being severed. There's
Yeah.
gotta be somebody else.
No, I think you do such a good job. And I think one of the reasons why I like always recommend this series, especially if someone's like, oh, I want like a mafia book, a darker romance. I think they're very good for also people who are just maybe dipping their toe
Yeah,
into the genre because you do get that mix of like obviously the violence, the action, the
yeah,
darkness, the spice, like the kid
yes,
gets that, but at the same time, like your humor does balance it out, because like all of your characters, they're so funny. They all have like clear personalities, and
Yeah.
especially all of your FMCs, even though
Yes.
you're like known for writing extremely badass FMCs, like every single one of them. Even the first chapter of this book, you're like, oh, Nikki, she's a don't mess,
Yeah.
literally don't mess with
Don't mess
her.
with either.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
So you do such a good job with, again, writing really strong female characters, but also you do have even funny like chapter titles. This one
Yes.
is my favorite chapter titles, I think, out of all of them. And like even those make you laugh out loud, and those are just like most quotes, like just pulled from the chapter.
They're
So
like quotes pulled from the chapter. Some of them are just my literal, like, this was the first thought that popped into my head when I think about this chapter. And I did that. I did that with book two randomly, like just at the end, I threw them in there without much thought, clearly, because some of them are very unhinged. And I was like, did not think about the concept that somebody was going to read those out loud and, or that it was going to be in print, or I don't know. I was just like, let's put that. And it was such a big hit that I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So it's quite literally, you readers get, this is just like right off the top of my head, pretty much no revisions. It gets put on there, and if it makes even a little bit of sense, I'm like, it's
don't
there. It's now there. Yeah, we're not changing it now. This one though, book three does have really good ones. I'm
really,
very excited,
I
and
do.
I don't know what I'm going to do for all my books from now on will probably all have chapter titles. I think there would be probably an uproar if I got rid of them
I
and
was gonna
didn't do them.
do it for one series, and then even with other directions that we'll go in, which we'll talk about later. Like you still
Yeah,
you just have to do it. You just have to
I
keep it.
think so.
I think I have faith that you can do it. You could keep it going.
I
You're gonna do great.
I was worried at first. I was like, "Am I gonna be able to?" And then some of them came so easy. I was like, I don't know if I should be concerned and call a therapist at how easily some of these thoughts came to mind. But right now, we're gonna capitalize on it and just keep it going.
Listen. I love it. And again, so this is where again we're on release day for book three.
Yes,
Would
it's
you like?
out. KU.
Yes, it's on Kindle Unlimited right now. Even also, we have beautiful chapter titles, but people on TikTok were loving my post about just the dedication of the book. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, but I saved it for
Yes,
today, my video to post about the dedication, because I filmed it like 2 days ago, but I was like, is this a spoiler technically if I post the dedication? So I saved it just to post it today. And other people actually posted about the dedication too.
yes,
So the dedication alone just tells you what you need to know about Marie book. But would you like
yeah.
to quickly, since again, if you really want to read this as a standalone, you can, but would you like to explain a little bit an elevator pitch for City of Salvation?
Yes, this is my I do love every time authors talk about the fact that when somebody asks them, "What's your book about?" and they're like, "Why would you ask me that?" That is always what it feels like. But City of Salvation, this is the third book in the Toxic Paradise series. It features Nikki and Dex, those two beautiful people right there. She is actually a runaway bride. She's running away from her very, very awful, toxic ex-husband situation. She doesn't fully know she's actually married because she was aiding basically a at her wedding day. So she's not sure if she's fully married or what. She just knows that he's after her. And she's been on the run for about almost 3 years now. And she finds herself in Arizona. And that's basically where you pick up. There's a lot of stuff that goes down in the first two books that I don't want to spoil for anybody if they haven't read it yet. But you pick up after those events, and Nikki's past is coming back to haunt her, and she's really trying to decide, okay, what am I supposed to do? And then in walks Dex, who she unwillingly calls to help her out of a sticky situation. And this absolute, like, just hunk of adorable love basically runs to her aid and refuses to let her go. And mind you, neither one of them want to do any type of relationship. We don't do connections. We
Yep.
will have a sleepover one night with people and then there is no more.
No one sleeps
But
in his bed.
nobody sleeps in his bed. They don't do last names. They don't do any of the things. But he falls absolutely. It's definitely a case of he falls first.
Mm-hmm.
And they find themselves in this forced proximity fake dating-ish situation, where they're both trying to like work through some past trauma and through the fact that they're both falling absolutely head over heels in love, and they have no clue what that means or what that looks like or what they're supposed to do about it. And this one is probably my most romantic of all three books, I would say, as far as like the emotion parts,
You know,
because
I get that. Even though I'm like so close to finishing the book, I actually 100%, because they also have like a friend, like, they have a
yeah,
history with each other. So they do have that built in like connection. They already know each other already,
yes,
comfortable with each other, which that's what I love, like even about like a second chance or like a friends to lovers. I do like when characters are already like comfortable with each other.
yes,
They have great banter with each other. And again, the forced proximity. That's why I said this book, especially after my own heart, because I love forced proximity. I never want my characters
me
to be
too.
separated. I would like them to be with each other
You're
at all times. And you
stuck together.
definitely get a wonderful amount of that in this book. And again, Dex is very protective over Nikki, which I love. I mean, I'm literally obsessed with the scene where he's like, "What is your last name?" So I can
Yeah.
properly yell at you. Because I can't. Nikki is not enough. He's like,
No, he's
he's like, "What is
so
your name?"
ticked.
He's like, "I need the full name so I can yell at you," because he's so mad at her, but he just can't. He just can't stay mad
He
at her.
cannot help himself. He does so many sweet things. I think this is the book, all of the books, like the men do something swoon worthy in some type of way. This one is different because his like little swoon worthy moments are him doing all of like these little gestures that are really sweet, that he doesn't know why he's doing them either. Like he doesn't know why he wants and feels compelled to do all of these things. And then it just reminds me literally of like when a golden retriever like brings you something and they're like, just love me, pet me. Like that's what he's like. And so Nikki also is like, I don't know what to do with this because this is adorable and I really don't want to like you. Like I would prefer it if you were just awful, and then I wouldn't have to be fighting off this attraction. And it was just so much fun to write because it got to be like a different version of the things I love to write. They're still like really strong and all of that, but a little, I don't even want to say softer, I guess, because in the context of things, they're still not very like soft characters, but they do sweet things for each other.
Make note, it's still very much touch
Yeah.
her and you, and it's like it's like a real touch her and like get
Yes, like an actual legitimate, we're
like,
going to.
and that's also all of your books. They're all like
I
that.
know.
I feel like there's a debate. I feel like there's a hot conversation going around right now of people saying books are touch her and you,
Yes.
but then they're not really like that. But no, not here, not here.
No, this one is an actual one. We mean it in the literal sense of it. In fact, there's a scene. There's like more than one scene.
Yeah,
He disposes of some things,
yeah.
some people-sized problems
Mhm.
in more than once in this book. Yeah, no, it's a literal.
They will literally take care of the body together.
Yeah,
We love a power couple who's like, oh,
get
we
on.
gotta get rid of this together. We have a little bit of a situation.
At one point he literally announces, like, my life would be so much easier if I owned a crematorium. Like, really, there we
I mean,
go.
he is an enforcer, like,
Yeah, let's just go. How many funeral homes are up for sale? Because I think that I need to buy one.
I love it. It's too good, people. Again, I love shoving this series down people's throats. I feel it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a psychic, but I could be a little bit of a psychic. I think this is going to be a big year for them as
I
a
hope so.
I think it's going to get even more respect. So I feel like slowly but surely people are reading it,
Yes.
it's getting bigger and bigger with each release.
Yes.
I know TikTok Shop was doing very well for you.
Oh my gosh, I, like, had to took a break on it. I was so busy all the time that I'm like, "I'm not gonna finish this book, and I have to finish this book." So, I will be restarting all of that, so everybody who wants signed books and all of those things will be starting back up. I just have to finish all of my pre-orders and getting them shipped out and all of that good, but it's been really busy on all of those different sides, and I agree. I think it's now going to, like, expand even more, um, because I also think that all three books definitely have spice, but I do tend to write from like the preference I have as a reader. It tends to be quite a bit of like plot and action
Mhm.
like mixed in there. It's not really, it is a spicy book, but
Yeah.
a lot of my spicy scenes are like in very like integral
Yeah.
parts of where I want to say. And I know that conversation has been going around a lot lately too about like readers really kind of wanting to know which books, so that way when they're in a mood just for spice and like we don't really need too much plot, they know which books to go to, and like, okay, what are the books that have like a plot driven and we get spice kind of
Yeah.
deal. And that's where I think that my books fall into a lot more, is there is a big focus on the plot and what's going on and what's like unraveling and things like that. So I hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a lot of like new readers who want to come and read about my unhinged badass FMCs and stuff. I really try to write like, when I say that they are like very strong feminine rage
No, they
characters,
really are.
they embrace it, and not in like a cliche way either. They're the ones who like embodied it. They're not going to be the ones who tell you I'm not like other girls, and then you get like the ick where you're like, okay, no, you definitely are. No. That's not what I wanted with them. I wanted to like show kind of what I think readers were looking for when they're looking for somebody who's going to like embody feminine rage. And all three of them have that for sure.
Yeah, no, they're again, I feel like I noticed right away with Skeletons of Society, like how unique and like refreshing it was to read. Like Ryan is literally like what, an arms dealer for like the
Yes.
cartel. Like she's literally like the woman in charge. Like she's the one busting in, making the decisions, being a
Yeah.
badass. She can totally fight for herself, and Gunnar
Yes.
understands that, but at the same time, he's still like, oh, you know, that's my lady. Like he loves her
Yeah.
and like will, touch her, and but at the same time, she can also, you touch her, she can unalive you as well.
I'll do it myself. It depends on which
That's
one.
that's I think the thing about, also again, what's special about this, it's like each couple, they're just all such like, they're so powerful, like both
Yes.
parts. And that's why I'm saying I have crushes on both of them. Like everyone, all the characters, they're too much. They're all just, they're so badass. And
They're so fun.
yeah, and that's like the number one thing. Like people who I know who have also read your books and they love them. They just love how badass the FMCs are. So
Yeah, it's one of like the points that gets talked about the most. Like when I get tagged in different like um
review.
reviews and stuff like that, it's always about my FMCs. Like that's really like my brand, my author brand truly is the FMCs that I write. And we love the MMCs, but I
Mhm.
think it's so often that we have like our book boyfriends and we don't have as many like book girlfriends. And that was really what inspired me to write to begin with. And so I'm really happy that like the goal of what I was going for, readers saw that too. It's also intimidating because I'm like, okay, gotta like make sure that they love Nikki. I was a little bit scared with Nikki because she's kind of like unintentionally very strong. She'll do all of the things, but maybe like not in the way that you would have expected her to do it. And it was important for me to get that right because I feel like Nikki a lot. Like sometimes I think being a really strong woman is being able to bat your eyelash and manipulate the men. Like that sounds awful, but it's true. Like sometimes I do want you to like go ahead and like pump my gas for me, even though I'm totally capable. And I'm gonna like bat my eyes and let you go get this and open the door. And it's not because I can't do those. It's just because like you're very conveniently here, so I'll go ahead and let you. Like
In that
that,
moment, choose that that's what I want you to do. And
yeah.
I can
Right
get you
now,
to
I would like you to do that. Yes.
exactly,
She
literally.
talks about like how she would for guys who because she's a dancer at the club, and so she talks about the fact that she'll like steal their wallets if they're like being an ass, and so she'll steal her wallets and then take herself on a shopping trip because she
Watch
takes
the
that as like
movie to prepare for this. Have you ever seen that movie,
yeah,
Hustler?
yes, it's been so long, but I'm like, yeah, you should. I
It's
remember like letting
Nikki.
guys at the bar like, go ahead, buy me a drink. I am not
Yeah.
I don't know why you're talking to me like that. Don't call me baby. Don't do any of those things. But I will take the free drink and then I will be exiting to the left.
Percent. I love that Nikki is a dancer, and
Yeah.
She says that it's just like in her blood, it's in her nature. I don't care what the dancing is, adult dancing, any kind of dancing. I love dancers in books. I
Yes.
love when a character is a dancer. I don't know why. I just think it's just a super niche trope that I love. It's one of my favorite. Also, same thing with like Runaway Bride. I feel like I've been reading more
Yes.
like Runaway Bride books these days, and they're just hitting, and I love it. So those are like micro niche tropes.
And they're in there, both of them.
They're both in here. We actually love to see it. But is there any place, do you get any like where do you get the inspiration for your characters? Is it other fictional people? Is it real life people? Is it just what you wanted to see, so you put it in a book?
It's more that. It's usually more like from books that I read and loved, or actually more so it's books that I loved, and then there was like a moment where it's like, like it would have, this, you had me, and then this happened. And I think that there's like a fine line too, because I want to see characters like, there are especially when you can see, like, for the purpose of the character growth, there are times where you want to see a character make a choice that's not what you want for them because you love the character, but you can see why they made that choice because you see like the progression of their growth. Like that I understand, but there are so many books that I would read and you're like, it was going so well, and then I don't know what happened here. Like we just derailed this. And so I get a lot of inspiration from that, like writing I wish these characters would have been like X, Y, and Z kind of deal. Also, music. I get a lot from music. Most of my inspiration comes from listening to music while on the treadmill doing like a hot girl walk, 1,000%. It's something about the endorphins and then the like attitude in the song and the fact that like nobody's in there. I have a treadmill in my garage. So I'm like in my garage, like strutting it out. My neighbors can hear me, I'm sure, singing off key. And I just feel like I'm on top of the world. Like I rule everything. And I get a lot of inspiration from that. I don't know why. I have no clue.
No, what a hot girl answer though. That's correct. That's an excellent answer to be like, where do you get your inspiration from? Well, when I just like work out on the treadmill, listening to my music, it just it's just like,
okay. So to make it, just so we know, just picture me on the treadmill, off key, sweats over leggings because it's cold in California, which I'm in California. So my cold is like not cold for everybody else.
Cold right now.
Yeah, we're like 61 and we're all like, it's so cold here. It's like 61 and sunny. The fact that we have to put on something more than a sweatshirt. I know. I'm like, I can't even say that, but I'm out there. I have like a bun on my head, top of my head, no mascara. I look a whole hot mess, but I am like hot girl walking it out as if I'm being paid to do so while thinking of all of these wild scenes. My notes app looks crazy. It's like just these like random thoughts while I'm trying to walk and like put a note down at the same time.
Do the books have playlists in front or do they have them? I can't remember if they have them.
So the books have playlists. I don't have them listed in the print version. I think there's a link in on my ebooks. I believe there's a link to them, and then there's always a link in my bio on my different like social medias and stuff that will lead you to my playlist. I'm very proud of my playlist. Naomi Loud, who I absolutely love, I think they're amazing, is way better at the whole playlist thing. There's like purpose to the ones that are put together for their books. Mine are a random stream of consciousness of whatever I was feeling in the moment. I'm like, this song, yes. And some of them, I should be embarrassed about the amount of times like I listen to the same song, like just on repeat. We're just round and round until I hate it. And then I'm like, I hate this song and could never listen to it again.
No, whatever works, whatever gets the story flowing. I feel like a good amount of authors who I've talked to, they're very inspired by music too.
Yeah.
I love it. It really, and I feel like more and more people have a playlist, whether it's in the print version of the book or not.
Where they'll list them out.
Yeah, you can find the playlist on Spotify or like any sort of places. And I love it. I love listening. I don't listen to book playlists while I'm reading the book, which I know some people do, but I will always go back and like listen to a playlist, or even if it's like some of the girlies on Spotify, they do such a good job. Like I'll search like a book title.
Yes.
There'll be a playlist there, and I'm like, you did so good, girl.
One of
They,
my favorites is some of like whatever they've labeled their playlist. Some
Mhm.
of them are like literally, I'm a mob wife at 3 a.m. in my fur. Like they are so specific for a moment. And I'm like, how did you know that I was needing this?
One of my favorite Spotify playlists is literally called Music to Gone Girl Your Boyfriend To.
See? I'm
And
like, who are these people?
it is
These are amazing.
it's an immaculate playlist and it completely fits the vibe so well. Gone Girl is one of my favorite books of all time. So I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. And I revisit that playlist all the time. And
Yes.
it's too good.
Abby, who I know you're friends with, I put a comment somewhere and she was like, I really need you to make a feminine rage playlist because I feel like you could deliver.
One
And
thing
I'm like,
she loves feminine rage. Yeah.
I could. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna have a whole photo shoot just for it. I'm gonna need to find a bat and some gasoline and a lighter and
You know how
something
to
to.
do feminine rage. You know how to do feminine
It was really when I went to Steamy Lit. That was one of the things that it was really funny. Is like I write. I love feminine rage. All of these things I write about it. I'm very very passionate about like. I think that just like standing up for yourself and like all of those things I'm like totally about. And then I was like meeting people and I'm like, my cheeks hurt because I'm like all smiley. And somebody said, I don't even remember who it was. They were so sweet. She's like, you are, she goes, you're so much nicer than like I thought. She's like, I didn't think you weren't going to be nice. I just mean like, you're just like all smiley and stuff. And you write about like feminine rage. And I was like, I know exactly what you mean. I'm not as intimidating as, and I'm also short. I'm like 5'2". So everybody was like, I really thought you were going to be taller. Like there was just,
yeah.
I'm not, people. I am not. And I was wearing platform shoes to try to aid in the height department. It did not help. And then I met Shay, and Shay is like way up here. And I'm like,
I'm 5'1" also. So I get it. Like being
you're
short
perfect.
into certain people who are so tall and you're just like, oh my God, hi, I feel so small, so little. Oh my God, I can only imagine at signings, people are coming up to you and they're like, you're so tiny.
Yeah. And me and my personality, I'm like, I am not. I mean, technically, yes, but
Yeah.
in attitude, I'm
Yeah,
like 6 feet.
exactly. What signings, because someone was asking, what signings do you have for this year?
I will be at
No.
Sinners and Stardust for sure.
Is that the one
And
in Boston? Wait,
yes,
okay.
that's the one in Boston, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna be at that one. That's the only one currently that I have planned.
Mhm.
I realized at Steamy Lit, it was fantastic and wonderful, and I absolutely loved it. I realized my social battery is like not as large as I thought it was. I
Mhm.
think it's because I feel this need in a very good way, but I feel this need to like match people's energy. Like when they're excited, I'm also excited, but then I'm excited for like a whole line of people. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels this way. And I just did not anticipate the like drainage that was going to happen. And so many awesome signings are happening in like weeks of one another. I will not be prepared. I will be lying in the fetal position underneath a weighted blanket. So I am so, so sorry for all of you who wanted me at more than one. I cannot handle them that closely together. But I have plans in the future for other ones. So I'm excited. I don't think I can announce the other ones yet because I don't know
Yeah.
who's announced what, but
Mm-hmm.
I will be at more. Just in this year, I only have one so far.
I'm gonna get you to New York eventually.
Yes, please, but not when it's like negative
No,
13
no,
where
no,
you
no.
guys are experiencing.
You don't have to come now. I don't advise anyone to come now. We're literally supposed to get more snow tomorrow, so
Perfect.
it's not fun over here. But no, for spring, summer, you need
I'll
to
be there.
on over. It's a party over here on the East Coast. It's crazy
I'm
that like
ready.
the New York doesn't do like a book club,
Yeah.
which is crazy considering all of the publishers, like at least like
Yes.
all of the main publishers are literally here. This is their
Yep.
home base a lot
Yeah.
so but even like something, for like indie trad published, but like no, we don't do any signings or anything, maybe one day,
Yep.
but
Get
yeah.
on it, Kelly.
But no, I
On your list of all the other things that you're doing.
Marie, there's so much that I want to do, and then now you want me to put together a signing. if I win the lottery and I have an infinite amount of funds to put together a signing, I would. I would.
My concern would be patience for me, and mine wouldn't even just be the funds. I'd be like, I would need the patience to
I
be able.
listen, it's a lot of work. I don't know how people do it. I've only gone to like how I think I've only gone to 2 signings, and they just like book Bonanza in Vegas, and it's a lot. And I wasn't even
Oh,
a signing author. I was just an attendee. So
yes,
it's a lot for you guys. So I give you guys credit. And listen, now next signing, you're gonna have even more people. You had your beautiful line at Stimulant, but now you're gonna have even more people because then also, what should we segue? I know you've talked about it, but
I have.
what do we have coming for the rest of 2024? What projects after this beautiful book? So after you read this series, wrong order. 1, 2, 3. By the way, this is the original covers. These are
Yes.
the special edition covers. This one does have this kind of cover. And then obviously these books have these beautiful covers. So you can take your pick.
Yeah.
I just have a mismatch set. But anyways,
I'll get you a full set of both so that way they match and you
thank you
can
so
do
much.
whatever order you want. Yeah.
Much. So after you read this beautiful trilogy from Marie, then what else can you read after from you in 2024?
I will be having, so I'm going to have for sure 2 releases, obviously the one that just happened, and then I am also going to have a hockey romance book coming out. I'm doing a second pen name. It's not like hidden or anything. Marie M, so that way there can be some differentiation between my a little bit darker and my a little lighter and fluffier. As a reader, I absolutely love sports romance, and I'm so excited to try my hand at it. So, so excited. So that's the next book that I'm working on. It's going to be fake dating,
Oh,
forced proximity.
oh,
It's going to be workplace romance where she is talking about my hot girl walk. She's the strength and conditioning trainer for the men's hockey team. And I love that because I feel like you don't in all of the hockey romances, and I read a lot of them.
mm-hmm.
I feel like there's not as many that they're like part of the team and kind of like that aspect kind of way. We see like PR and social media and like all these other different things. And I was like, I want her to be in there, like blowing a whistle at these guys and like whipping them into shape as they like puke over in the corner, which again, I don't know what that says about me. There's something there, but
To say I
I'm
want yelling at them. She can yell at that hockey team.
just them in like some short shorts and she's over there and she's like professional and yelling and then she finds the one that she's supposed to be like ignoring. We're in a fake relationship and she's just like, oh my gosh, the thighs. I could just picture it now. Can you imagine like how difficult that would be? Just the internal battle of being like professional while like oogling somebody's like giant quads.
I don't think I could do it because I feel like if like a hockey player in real life or a in shape man, if he gave me one sliver of attention, I'd be like, oh, it's over. I'm done.
She's gonna, I think we need a scene where they all come in shorts and she decides that he needs to wear like a full, those like sweatsuits when you're trying
Yes,
to cut weight and stuff. Like you need to put this on because I can't
she
oogle
can.
you. It's unprofessional. I'm really, really excited for it. It's gonna be, I think it'll be so much fun and it'll be a nice light and fluffy. I say light and fluffy compared to like what it is that I write
Yeah,
like
I mean it's gonna
normally.
be different. We have the
Yes.
mafia cartel romances
Yep.
on this side, and then Marie M. We have sports romance, a little bit more
Yes.
contemporary, and then again, that's a separate Instagram, by the way. You can look
Yes.
for Marie M. It's pink, which we
It's
love.
pink and so fun. Yeah. It's
So,
like my 2 sides.
I mean, a girl after my own heart. Those are literally my 2 personality sides as well.
I
So that's yeah. So you can look for that. I feel like some people are like, "Oh, is there too many hockey romances?" But I don't think hockey romances are gonna stop anytime soon
no.
in
And
popularity. I think
yes.
people love sports romances, and again, they love hockey romances. So I'm excited to see what you do with it.
And I think that that's a great point too, because when I was getting ready, if you read my books, I think what you'll find is I tend to take stuff that have a little bit of a different twist
Mhm.
because there's again a lot of my inspiration comes from like I wish I would have seen this in a book and keep reading and I keep not seeing something and it's like okay I'm just going to go ahead and write it then.
Mhm.
And so I had the same feeling with hockey. I love hockey romance. I've read a lot of them. But there'll be like certain things where I'm just like, I'm just missing this kind of moment. You know, like something I miss that not all of them, but like usually the FMC makes a lot of sacrifices so the MMC can
Mhm.
continue like what he was doing because it's a hockey romance. So it's
Yes.
like based around him and so there's like certain things that are like, I really wish I could see that. So there are a lot of hockey romances. It's having its moment. I think it's always going to have its moment. I've been reading hockey romances for like years now, like so long.
Mhm.
But it will have a little bit of like a twist, something different, which is usually like how I like to
Yeah.
write stuff. And you'll still see like some feminine rage in there and like a sassy FMC per usual, because I just don't think I could ever
Yes.
steer away from it. So
I found the Instagram,
yeah,
people.
there
That's what you need if you're looking for the hockey romance. Follow the account. I feel like that meme where it's like you just have to follow the account. There it is. There she is. Again,
yeah,
very pink, very cute. I love it.
so
And
fun.
listen, I'm actually not a sports romance girly that much. I mean, some books that I absolutely love with my entire heart and soul happen to be sports romances, but I don't sit there and like actively
Yeah,
seek them out. But I feel obviously it's great that you are someone who has read obviously a lot of them because then you know what to do to give yours a little bit of a
yes,
twist, make it different. And that makes me excited because sometimes it's like, are all these hockey romances like the same? Like, how
the
many
same.
times do you do like Coach's daughter, which is a great
Yeah,
trope. I love to
yeah,
see it, but you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's just like
I totally get it.
I also yeah, and I feel like again, fake dating is good. I love the idea of like fake dating in the sports setting. And have you confirmed is the hockey romance is it a standalone or is it maybe going to be part of something else?
No, it is going to be part of something else. I already have a little slew of characters that I'm like, okay, we need. So it'll be another interconnected series because I just have all I love that. I like it will be less connected than like my Toxic Paradise series, which is really like the best reading experience is if you read that one in order. My hockey one, I don't think will have like the plot where it builds on each other quite as much. It'll just be like you can read them in order, or if you don't, you're going to see cameos of other characters and then you can like go back and read whatever kind of deal. Is That's the plan, but we'll see once I start writing because who knows, sometimes it takes off onto its own
Yeah.
whole other thing. But I'm really excited. And then I will be back in the dark romance world. Um, because I like the way that I like to write, I'll kind of be working on both of them. Now I don't know for sure because I just don't like to like put set things on myself. I don't know when that release will be, but I will be I'll work on the hockey when I have my break and it goes to my editor. Then I'll work on my next book in the my darker world. And
Mhm.
that one is going to be I've already talked about it, so it's not a spoiler, but Andre, who is in the third book, he's getting a book. And
Mhm.
I'm very, very excited for that. And I just love him so much. And I love the FMC that's also there. And I will talk about both of them later, but I can't spoil anything because then it jinxes me.
Yeah. I can't wait. And I love to see because I mean, like I feel like authors, readers are always they're 20 times smarter than me. It doesn't matter how much I love an author, these people, everyone is so good at being like, is this person getting a book? Is this character? I noticed this character was doing this like off to the side. Like, does that mean they're getting this? I don't notice jack half the time.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Notice anything. I was literally talking to one of my author friends about an arc that I read of her new book, and she literally goes, "Oh, Kelly, did you clock this from this character?" And I was like, "No, I did not,"
Nope. Mm-mm.
because she's like, "That'll be in a different book." I was like, "Girl, no, I did not." So
Yeah. Incorrect information. I know though I've gotten in my
anything.
DMs the like not suggestions. It's like questions like, "Oh, have you da da da?"
Yeah.
And they will pull in some characters that I totally like in my mind left it open, but it wasn't an Easter egg. It was just like if later on maybe I'm not going to kill them off because maybe I'll want to, but there was no like pre-planned and then they'll be like is so and so going to be together and I'm like, "Wow. You wow." 'Cause
There's
like okay, you were on the ball because that was just like a half-hearted, like, I'm gonna put that there, and they were like, whoop, clocking stuff. And I'm like, even before I wrote book 3, and this was always the plan, I had somebody finish book 2 and then slide into my DMs, and they were like, does Nico know Nikki from her past and she's gonna show back up? And she had like this whole thing, and I was like, first of all, that's brilliant. That's not how it's gonna go, but how did you even like? Where did you even get? It's crazy. It's
They're,
absolutely
they're so smart. Again, I can't.
so smart. Some of them are far smarter than myself. I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. And if I was smart enough to think about that, I would have written it that way. But that amazing, chef's kiss all the way around.
Feel like I'm sorry to break the news to you.
I
Unfortunately,
know.
like I'd be like, this is brilliant. I wish I thought of it first, but that's not what we're getting. But it's
Good on you.
it's a good
Now,
suggestion.
lower your expectations
Yeah.
because I did not think about that. Yeah, it's so fun. I'm really hoping that all of my readers who love my darker stuff will give me a chance with my hockey stuff because I know, like sometimes we can be very like, I like these books with this, and I like this with this. I do think with my reading audience, if you like my book, I have a pretty distinct style. So I kind of feel that if you like the way I write,
Mm-hmm.
then you'll probably write like most of the things that I write in terms of like it's going to be the same feel and writing style and like humor and like strong FMCs. And I hopefully can keep your attention even when it's not containing weapons and things like that.
No,
So we'll see.
I think they will. I think people also they like to switch it up. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
your dark romance authors, and then you want it something lighter. Like you can't just. I mean, some people are just like all dark 24/7, and then obviously, or they're like all contemporary
Yes.
for 24/7. But I personally, and I think most people, we like the balance. We
Of
like
in between. Yep.
and I mean, I've seen people who I'm friends with talk about like on their socials, they're like, oh, I felt like in 2023, I read a lot of more contemporary romances
Yeah.
and stuff down. So now in 2024, I want to go back to darker romances and like fantasy romances because they're tired of
Yes.
that. And so that's why also I think the people who again maybe want to try something because I'll have people message me like on occasion and if they don't see like a post in mine, they'll be like, hey, I want like do you have Mafia Rex for me or like darker romance and like this series again I always pop in because I feel like this is like a safe choice. It's an
Yes.
easy choice. It's not like I haven't even read her books, but it's not like I'm being like, oh, go read like all of Rena Kent's books if you want like dark like
Yeah.
million of those. Like it's like this is simple. It's a trilogy. And again, they flow so nicely. They're so entertaining. I
Yes.
have the attention span of a goldfish. So like if the book is, boring or doesn't, it's
Yes.
not making it snappy, I do want to kind of cry a little bit on the inside. Your books, they're also not too long, which is so wonderful.
No.
I think they're all a great length. And again, especially a third one will come to audio soon. But if you are an audio person, mostly like me, and you like, just to knock series out, you can binge them on audio. You'll be able to do that. Again, they're really easy listens on audio. They're so well done.
They
So
just did such a good job.
like I said, I feel it for them. I mean, I'll keep pushing them with my life, but also, I guess if you are still on the live or watching this anytime soon afterwards, you can keep an eye out for my Instagram because if you don't have a book, if you want these books,
Yeah.
maybe it'll be an opportunity to get your hands on these
Maybe.
books. Maybe someone here is gonna make me look cool.
Things.
They
Yes.
contribute prize. I'm telling you, the people they go crazy. They love, you know,
Yes.
signed
I've
book,
got things
special book.
going possibly your way.
I can't.
A lot of things because I need to finish. I need to make sure that you have like a set that makes sense too.
Oh, yeah. Thank
Because
you.
my OCD will be like, I'll have my eye twitch in the middle of the night just thinking about it. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, Kelly's books don't even match.
I got the ones from TikTok Shop. I love
I
them.
know, they're perfect. They're perfect.
Also, after then you release the art with Gunnar and Ryan, and then like Scar and like the art style. Again, go
Yes.
to when the TikTok Shop opens, or maybe on the Instagram. Get
Yes.
stickers, get the print. They're beautiful. It's too
Yes,
much.
and if you don't do TikTok Shop, I will have them on my website. Probably, I would say look at the beginning of February, end of January, then I'll have everything shipped that was, like, already accounted for and, like, be able to go through and know what my numbers are. My biggest fear, because I am known for, like, something is going to go wrong at least a little bit. It's always been this way. I allow for, like, an something to go wrong, like an error. I just like know it's gonna happen and it's fine. Like it doesn't even send me into a panic. But I want to make sure all these other things don't go wrong. So it's like, okay, something's gonna go wrong. It's fine. Like we'll wait for that moment, but I have to make sure these things go right. I don't know what that is. It's literally my entire life has been like that. And so I'll get comments like, you go with the flow so easily. No, it's just I accounted for something was gonna go wrong. I didn't know what it was. I just knew something would. And then all of these things I made sure went right. Who knows? I should probably talk to somebody about all of these little weird funky quirks that I have.
No, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. I was so proud seeing your TikTok Shop, the videos you'd make, and you're a very fast shipper.
Super fast shipper. I'm like, go, 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 go. I had something crazy, or have, I guess still it will be coming back to life, but I've had like over like 600 or something like that sales.
I love that. And again, now we have even more art print, swag,
Yes.
not safe for work art, I think, right? I mean, I have
Yes.
the not safe
I
for
have
work.
to get creative of how I can put that listing up on TT Shop because it does not like it. And so those may have to live just on my website. I for a while was able to like
You
kind of circumvent.
might,
Yeah, but they are right at the end, they were like cracking down. I might just do it where there'll be a listing for the book and it may just say book with art and everybody will have to just know that that's all of the like naked people.
yeah. I feel like especially also now, like that not safe for work art is being included with like everything. I feel like every author you'll see like the cute overlay, the little
Yep.
couple they're embracing, and then you'll get the not safe for work.
Woo!
And it's like, I mean,
Also, props to these artists.
visual learner. I need the visuals.
It is the Mary with the vibrarium. She cracks me up because we were talking about this, and she was like, "I think that they always need the eggplants always need to be bigger. Like always, just whatever you think is too big, go bigger." And so when I saw the ones for like for um Skeletons of Society and then for City of Salvation, those two not safe for work arts, I was like, well, we accomplished that. We accomplished that. They
I
are
was like, ooh, I was like,
in her rib cage.
that's my man. I told you that's why that's my man.
Yeah, right
That
there.
look at his
Yep.
little bun too. And his nose hoop. Also,
He's
I
so
don't
hot.
was intent like I don't think it was intentional, but I mean we love to see it about Dex's past in this book. My name is in this book.
Okay, so it was not intentional originally, and then I'm like writing it as I'm going through, and I was like, okay. I was like, I want to leave Kelly as her name. And I really hope Kelly is not insulted that it's the sister because the sister is
Yeah.
it's not a happy ending for the sister. And I was like, should I change it? Is she gonna
No,
be upset or she'll be okay? So
no,
your name
no.
is in there.
It is
So sorry.
we can say it's for Kelly. It's the Kelly Reynolds reads like cinematic universe. My name is
Yeah.
in a couple books. As it brings you luck. It brings you luck.
There we go. This is gonna be everybody's gonna love this book because of the luck. Look at all the charms that I have
Because
sprinkled in there.
you threw a Kelly in there and you did it the correct spelling. Because you could
Yeah.
have been K,
The other thing.
IE, you did the correct spelling. And again, that's also very important because it doesn't count
Percent.
if it's not
You heard it here, folks. The way to a bestseller is Kelly in there spelled correctly.
It's so funny because I don't even think I probably didn't even notice the first time the name was mentioned, but then I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh, her name is Kelly. I was like, oh, there's a Kelly in here. I was like, love to see it.
Perfect.
Incredible. I'm everywhere. I'm literally everywhere. But then also in the same book, he says that, he doesn't like redheads, but that's fine.
It happens. But it's like the real bright. It's because he loves the blonde.
No,
She's
I
just
know
the
because
soulmate. It's fine. We love a redhead. Dex is just meant to be, with Nikki in particular and her blonde hair.
I love, again, I love that it's boy obsessed, man obsessed.
Yes.
He's like, he
Unapologetically so.
has to get with other women to distract as a distraction. He's like, I'm pissed off and I'm thinking about this one, so whatever gets the job done. And then the other he can't escape from. They're just stuck together.
My favorite is she's literally texting him in the middle of like he's about to get this lap dance and then a blowjob, a lip service.
It's too late now.
And I know it's so hard when you're so used to like writing it down and then you're talking about it and you're like, what words can I use instead? Because certain things cannot be said on. Also, real strange when you like move into talking to like regular people in real life.
Oh.
And then you have to like, woo, okay, let me rein back. We don't just like openly say certain things all the time because nobody in my real life, other than my husband and my best friend, nobody knows that I've written anything, period. So I'm just a total normie.
You're like Montana. You're a little secret.
Nobody knows. Nobody has any clue. I'm a total like normie person over here. It's very strange. It's very nice because I get to like disconnect from like writing and things. I think it helps with my writing process if there's like this whole other side that is just like I have to be like think regular and stuff like that. But it's weird. It's really weird to like transition. Oh, and my post office people also know because they have to know because when you sell, when you send as many books, you can't hide it anymore.
That's funny, yeah, because even when I'll go to the post office and like I sell books and like send people books like all the time and like I'll be like, oh, I need to ship this out, like it's a book. Sometimes if I have like too many books, like the post office woman, she'll be like, oh, are they your books? Are you the one writing the book? And I'm like, you know what, not yet, but maybe one day. I'm like, no, I just send them out, but like they do know me as the girl who always has the books.
All the books.
I always come in and I'm like, what are you shipping? I'm like, no, it's books. I was like, it's books.
This may sound like completely naive. I am sure like people have thought about this before, but until writing, I had quite literally not ever thought about like what funds our post office. I know that sounds so ignorant. I don't know. I thought it was like taxes or something. I didn't realize it was like the postage that you get that you're buying. They're like, here we go. So they call me their favorite customer because I live in this little tiny town. And so I'm like over there, like shipping stuff like crazy. And so they love me there.
Pull it in, like just
I'm like, yes, I'm their cash cow currently. I'm like,
so funny.
My husband went and dropped off a bunch of stuff today. And they're like, oh, our favorite customer is back in because I took a break during Christmas time. I was like, all of you ladies will be fine. It's Christmas. You're going to be busy anyway. I need a break because I can't finish this book if I don't take a break. So they're all excited to see me again. But I literally had never even thought about it. I was like,
I haven't either. You heard it here first. Marie is also
there you go.
Post office, her local post office in business.
Here we go. I'm keeping it in business. They should hire me to be the spokesperson.
Yes, she's the queen of the postal service.
I need a hat. I'm gonna ask them. Like, can I get a hat at least for all of the business I'm bringing you?
That's right.
A little outfit.
You should get a little outfit. That's really cute. That's actually very sweet. That's very funny.
That's what I think.
And they know. And
they know.
They're one of the only people who knows the secret. That's incredible.
I know. I'm like, you should all be honored. You all know. One of them has my book because she had to look it up.
Oh.
And then I brought her one.
Give her the
I gifted her the first book, her and her friend, because she asked her friend who reads. She's like, "Have you read this one?" And she's like, "No." And then there was like a whole thing. And I am like, I'm gonna give you one because I feel like this is the thing to do. But we can't ever talk about it after this. Like this is a
how you feel. This is a one and done. Like I'm just gonna slip it and then we're done.
we won't look at each other in the eyes. I will not ask you how you
Yep.
feel about somebody spitting in your mouth.
Did you like
And
the
you're not,
shower scene? Do you have any thoughts about?
yep, you're not going to ask me what even possessed me to write that scene. We're not, it'll just be, here you go. Yeah, that'll be. I don't know why it's totally fine. Like strangers on the internet who I've now considered like, readers, friends, acquaintances, all of those things. I have no problem. Let me tell you that somebody spits in, like they spit in each other's mouths and I love it.
It's like I have a book.
Somebody else,
There's
I'm
mouth
like,
fitting. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we're not going to talk about this. Don't look at me in the eye. We're not going to talk about this ever again. This stays between you and your book and me and my computer, and that's it.
Oh, it's too incredible. It's just so funny. I love it. I love that some of you guys are quite literally Hannah Montana. You just have your double lives.
Yep. Double lives. Exactly. And half the time I forget about like one thing or the other. And I'll get like, I think it's funny too, because then I will get like readers and they'll go through. Right now I'm like completely and totally overwhelmed by what my DMs and notifications look like. But most of the time I will like answer and things like that. And so they'll like, I cannot believe that you answered. And it's always so funny because literally everywhere else in the world, like nobody knows anything. Like nobody is thinking that way about me. And so I'm like, I'm honored that you read my book. Like, what are we talking about here? You're the real star. Like, I just wrote this like crazy stream of consciousness and you picked it up to read it. I'm thankful for you. But it's such a wild experience I don't think I'll ever get over it. Ever. Clearly, because all I do is just ignore people instead when I get overwhelmed.
Marie, you're the same because even I'm not a popular author, but I still will be like, I am maybe intentionally ignoring your DMs because I am so socially need to be a herb right now. Just leave me, just sit on this bed and not move. Just like
slowly pull it
for what just for a minute, allow me to ignore your messages. I love you, but just
I appreciate you. But the mental capacity right now to interact is not there. It's not there.
Well, I hope you had the happiest release day because you deserve it. And again, this book, like it's too good. Like I just love the dynamic again in this book because I love that forced proximity. I love that again, he's like a golden retriever type, but obviously he's still gonna like, you know what I mean? And I love their history with each other, how he will quite literally drop everything if she needs help. And I just also think her, without spoiling it, like what she has going on is so interesting. It's also like I'm on the edge of my seat. Like I'm like the story. This book, it also, there's the plot really keeps you going on the edge of your seat. And then again, there's obviously you get the good spice like thrown in throughout, but like the actual plot of what's going on, when you see what's going on with Nikki, you're just like, oh, like
what's happening?
Get to like the actual one, like I'm really just like, I think I know what's gonna happen, but at the same time I can't predict anything, so I probably don't know what's gonna happen. But
it's my favorite. I think I love them all equally because I think all three books are very different from one another. Like the overall vibe and stuff is the same, you get the same feel, but they all explore a little bit different of like who I am as like a writer. And this one is the action heavy and like plot driven and fast paced is the thing that's across the board. All three of them have that. This one is a little bit of a slower burn and you're like, wait, and the buildup of who they become to like fall in love with one another, it was like so special to me in this one because they did know each other. They have a past. They're like built up this friendship, but both of them don't let anybody in. So like watching them let people in and then resist letting another person in because it's like such a scary thing. I loved writing that because I think it's so relatable. Like, okay, do you want to, is it worth the heartbreak that's probably going to come from this kind of deal? And so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to write, especially on Nikki's part, because I think that there's a lot of things that like are very relatable to when you want to fall for somebody,
Yeah.
but do you really want, like, you know, everything that comes with it. And so you resist, even if you know it could be good for you, it's still such a scary thing. And then for Nikki, you get to see how that changes of like her not wanting to get hurt for her own reasons to like, wait, I don't know that I want to hurt this person, because it just like shifts from a selfishness in a good way. Like she's being selfish with her own heart to a like, maybe I would cause him more problems kind of deal. And I know sometimes in books that's like really annoying. You're like, just don't. This book's a little bit different because there's literally somebody after her trying to like unalive her. So she's like, no, I'm literally going to put them in danger. So
I mean, she's been through a lot. Both of them have been through a lot. I mean, all of your characters have things, you know, in their past or, you know, what's going on currently in their lives that like make them like who
yeah,
they are.
just a smidge of something happening.
Just a little something going on. But, you know, in this one, just seeing both of them like become soft like for each other and just have their like undeniable chemistry. Again, even from like their first meeting, like in the book, because it's not obviously their first meeting
Yes.
in the story, but like their first interaction in the book, you're just like, oh, okay, like I see how it is, and then you get more on their backstory, and it's just it's too good. It's too good. And again, I'm finishing this very quickly, which is unlike me because I'm a slow reader on my Kindle. Depending, I'm kind of getting better. I feel like being stuck inside my house for like a week, I was
With the snow. Yeah.
getting pretty good now at getting back into reading with my eyeballs. You know,
Yes. Yeah. It's a big difference when you go audiobook to visual again.
and choose, but it's again the books, they flow so nicely. Like the chapters aren't too long, like they're so entertaining. The plot, like again, I was like hooked. Like before, I was literally one of the reasons why I showed up like 2 minutes before we had to start was because I was literally reading the book. I was like, this is too good.
That makes me so happy to hear because that's
It's true.
definitely my goal.
I was like, oh, I was like, I was like, oh no, I was like, I have to actually get on the live and
Hold
talk
on
to.
one moment.
So, but I know whoever picks up this book or just the series in general, they're going to have a great time because I love them so much. I think they're going to have their moment. I love them. So, and
I
also
hope so.
one more time for my favorite thing. Where's my poster? You're going to send me my,
I am. I'm gonna send you one of those cardboard cutouts.
oh my God.
Boop.
Marie, if this was a cutout, if you gave me a cutout, I would literally put it in the background of
Probably
every
just
single one of my.
moving it around. Well, there we go. That's settled. We got to get you a
When you
cardboard. Somebody's.
yeah, you have to get like cardboard cutouts of all of your beautiful artwork. You just have to like stick them all around your booth.
That's what I need. Then you can. Nobody would want a picture with me. They're like, no, I'm just gonna be taking a picture with the cutout. Thank you.
Also, people may try to steal them. I would.
That's true. Can you imagine just like running around with the?
We'll meet in person at a signing. You'll have this as a cardboard cutout, and you'll be like, "Where is it?" And it's just me running.
I'm just gonna have them. Can you make an announcement that Kelly needs to please return the cardboard cutouts? I know she has them.
Can Kelly please return Marie's cardboard cutouts to her stand? They're not for her.
It'll be fine.
I'll send someone as a distraction and I'll steal them.
Perfect.
Because
I will.
Everyone go to Marie's Instagram and go look at the beautiful character art. You're literally gonna die.
Yes, and Rosie Fables is the artist, and she's absolutely amazing.
So her art is beautiful. Like it's just some of the most stunning.
So good. It's my favorite. I like just perpetually stick myself on her wait list, which she's probably sick and tired of me now. But I'm like, just put me on a revolving. I'll find a character, even if I don't have one for you. If you're ready for me, I'll find one for you because
I'll make it
what I need.
Like this isn't maybe what the character would look like at first, but it's what they look like now.
It's what they look like now. I will work around what you need.
This is what we're gonna work with now. Okay?
Exactly.
No, she's very talented. Like it's really beautiful. So check out shop for that as well. All right. It's been a little over an hour. It's been a beautiful chat. I am so
Thank
excited
you so
for
much.
people to watch this later on. I talk about your books like in my YouTube videos as well, but then anyone will be able to come to the YouTube, watch the chat back, and hopefully pick up one of your sensational books. So follow Marie on Instagram. She's
Yeah.
at Author Marie Maravilla. She's right
Yep.
there, same way as you spell it. Thank you for joining me.
Thank
Thank you.
you for having me.
I love you so much. This was great. City of Salvation is out. Wrong one. City of Salvation is out today. Again,
Yes.
Kindle Unlimited as
Yep.
well. On Kindle Unlimited, audiobook coming soon, but the other two books in the Toxic Paradise City do have audiobooks and they're on KU as
Yeah.
well. Beautiful special people covers and these beautiful regular covers as well. Beautiful discreet covers. Very nice.
Yeah.
Discreet. So that's what you like. But yeah, thank you again so much for
Thank you.
chat. Bye.
Bye.